I'm really encouraged about this next individual who's going to speak for us. I'll just say briefly a couple of things. I've been really blessed. I find myself a fairly young man still and acquiring wisdom every day. I've had an opportunity to speak to this gentleman probably maybe once or twice a month for the last 3 months before we had this event. Reminds me of my father in a lot of ways with his wisdom. But the roads that he's traveled are different than a lot of roads that we all travel. He's going to talk tonight about the parallels of Dr. King and his group that they inspired back in the mid-1960s. Had a chance to speak with his wife a few times. Mr. Elbert and Carol reunited some years ago after finding each other and Carol being involved with the Panther Party in the mid-1960s. There's going to be plenty of time for applause. I hope you really raise your roof. I've been blessed to talk to them both briefly. I'd like to tell you, Mr. Howard was an original founding member. That's not just a founding member, but an original founding member of the Panther Party in 1966. That's pre-Eldridge Cleveland. He was the Minister of Information before Eldridge. Him and Bobby Seals and Mr. Newman were the original founding members. He's also a co-founder of the PATH organization here in Sonoma County. It's the Police Accountability Hotline. Because we all need to keep people in check at times, and sometimes our police need to be put in check. Amen? Amen. He's a lecturer and a writer. He's been instrumental in this community. He's got a couple of radio programs that he's doing right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to open your hearts, open your minds, and your spirits, and prepare yourself for some education over the next 10 minutes. I would like to present to you, to your right, my left, Mr. Elbert, Big Man Howard.
Good afternoon to you all. I'm honored to be here, to be able to share my thoughts with you this day as we come together in this community to share this annual birthday celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King. Today I'm going to talk about Dr. King's efforts to secure human and civil rights and draw parallels to the Black Panther Party and its struggle for human rights and its community programs. Both Dr. King and the Black Panther Party fought for voting rights for African Americans and all disenfranchised poor people. They enlightened people as to how they could be empowered and promote change by delivering political consequences to government representatives by exercising their voting rights. Both Dr. King and the Black Panther Party sought to feed the hungry, the poor, and believed in these facts. Human rights include fair wages, equitable medical treatment for all people, and shelter of affordable housing. These civil and human rights struggles were about the same issues people are faced with today. That's why we're out in the streets now protesting the same bad conditions, namely unemployment, decaying educational structures, expensive, unnecessary wars. The lack of equitable voter rights, lack of affordable decent housing, a completely devastated economy, and greedy criminal, corporate, and government officials. As we reflect on Dr. King's many contributions, I feel it is especially important to remember his campaign for the National Voter Rights Act, which after so much government opposition and bloodshed in the streets of America was eventually passed into law. Dr. King's struggle to attain human and civil rights inspired and motivated so many of us. As many of you know, I'm one of the original 6 members of the Black Panther Party, which originated out of Oakland, California in October of 1966. And as I speak, you will learn how many of us, as is not always recognized, had a deep connection to this great man, Dr. Martin Luther King, and his work. I will share with you some history. In 1969, the Rainbow Coalition was founded by groups which included Chicago Black Panther Party. The Rainbow Coalition was so named because it included people of all races and ethnicities. It consisted of Panthers, Southern working class whites, activists, and community members, Puerto Ricans, and Native Americans. Nothing like this party had ever existed before. When Reverend Jesse Jackson ran for president of these United States, he ran on the Rainbow Coalition platform, and the Black Panther Party supported him. As the Black Panther Party evolved, many members became involved in electoral politics throughout the country. In Chicago, Bobby Rush, a former Black Panther Party member, got elected to the United States as a congressman from Cook County. Panther Larry Little, out of the Winston-Salem, North Carolina chapter of the Black Panther Party, won a seat and served as an assemblyman in that state. In 1971, Black Panther Party co-founder Bobby Seale ran for mayor of Oakland. He did not win, but very importantly, he captured 40% of the electoral vote and set the stage for another African American to soon be elected mayor of Oakland. 3 members of the Black Panther Party ran for and became members of the Berkeley City Council. The Black Panther Party was an instrumental force in the launching of the political career of Congressman Ron Delos. So contrary as to how the Black Panther Party was depicted by the media and the American power brokers, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the Black Panther Party was a source of hope and political power, particularly to disenfranchised poor blacks, whites, Asians, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I am saying that contrary to what you may have thought or been told, the Black Panther Party played a powerful role in the civil and human rights struggle of the 99% who were struggling for survival in America. As Dr. King said, no lie can live forever, and truth crushed to dust will rise again. On a personal note, I wish to share my thoughts with you about how and what it was that Dr. King inspired in me. As a young observer, having been born and raised in the segregated South, I knew what it was to be considered less than a human being. To be forced to ride only on the back of the bus in so-called public transportation, but pay equal fare. To shop and spend our money downtown, but be prohibited from eating lunch at any downtown lunch counter. To live in fear of the night-riding KKK and the White Citizens Council. A life of oppression and fear. Then along comes this young Baptist preacher, speaking up bravely and clearly, addressing our issues, the issues of blacks in America who were tired of being trampled over by the iron feet of oppression. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. took action in the Deep South and organized poor black people to resist and demand freedom, justice, and equality. He taught us that no matter what, in all actions taken, the most important thing was to stick together and not allow forces of hate and oppression to frighten or break us or deter us, to remain united, that many things could be accomplished with grim, bold, and steadfast determination. I think that among the most important things I learned from Dr. King was the power of boycott, the importance of mass protest, his dogged determination to see through to their conclusion all the challenges that he undertook. Despite threats of violence, being thrown in jail, death threats, and attempts on his life, Dr. King was a man of faith with the highest of moral conviction. He truly lived up to the words of that old protest marching song, "Ain't nobody gonna turn me around." Yes, I believe it was Dr. Martin Luther King that I found my moral center, which gave me my will to fight for human rights and against injustice and to stay the course. I want to thank you all so very much for coming today and allowing me to share my thoughts with you. Stay the course, stay united, all power to the people.
Thank you so much, Elbert. Wow, that was encouraging, exciting.